If you walked into a room and every head turned, not because you were loud, not because you were flashy, but because your presence felt unshakable, how would your life change? Imagine speaking and people actually listening. Imagine setting boundaries without guilt. Imagine chasing goals without second-guessing yourself every 5 minutes. Imagine waking up with a quiet certainty that says, I can handle whatever today throws at me. This isn't about arrogance. It's not about pretending to be fearless. It's not about dominating others. This is about becoming dangerously confident. Dangerously confident means your self-belief is so solid that rejection doesn't break you. Failure doesn't define you. Criticism doesn't control you. You walk into interviews, dates, meetings, gyms, classrooms, family gatherings, and you don't shrink. Most people in America today are silently struggling with self-doubt. Young professionals scrolling LinkedIn wondering if they're behind, college students comparing themselves on social media, mothers restarting careers, fathers feeling pressure to provide more, entrepreneurs fighting invisible battles, retirees questioning relevance. Confidence is not age-based, it's identity-based. And here's the truth nobody tells you. Confidence is not a personality trait. It's a trained skill. You were not born insecure, you were conditioned that way. Conditioned by comparison, conditioned by past mistakes, conditioned by one embarrassing moment in middle school that somehow still lives in your head, conditioned by layoffs, breakups, social media highlight reels, family expectations. But if confidence can be conditioned out of you, it can be conditioned back into you. Today, you are going to rewire your identity, not with hype, not with fake positivity, not with surface-level affirmations, but with psychological recalibration. Because dangerous confidence starts with one shift. You stop asking, what if I fail? And you start asking, what if I don't try? Let's start here. Your brain is wired for safety, not success. Thousands of years ago, survival meant staying with the tribe and avoiding risk. Today, your brain treats sending a bold email like it's a life-threatening event. It treats public speaking like a tiger attack. It treats starting a business like jumping off a cliff. Your nervous system hasn't updated, so when you feel anxiety before stepping up, that's not weakness. That's biology. But confidence grows when you teach your nervous system that discomfort is not danger. The first rule of becoming dangerously confident is this. Do small, hard things daily, not dramatic things, not viral moments, small, hard things. Take the cold shower, make the difficult phone call, speak up once in the meeting, go to the gym even when you don't feel like it, say no when you mean no, wake up when the alarm rings. Each time you do something uncomfortable on purpose, you collect evidence. And confidence is nothing more than accumulated evidence that you can handle discomfort. Most people wait to feel confident before they act. Dangerously confident people act before they feel ready. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. If you're young and trying to figure life out, stop waiting to feel prepared. Nobody feels prepared. If you're in your 40s or 50s thinking it's too late, it's not too late to become the strongest version of yourself. If you're a woman who has been underestimated, your calm certainty will always outlast loud doubt. If you're a man who was told to man up instead of process emotions, real confidence is emotional control, not emotional suppression. Confidence is built when your words match your actions. You say you're going to work out, and you do. You say you're going to finish the project, and you do. You say you won't tolerate disrespect, and you don't. Self-trust is the foundation of dangerous confidence, and self-trust is built through kept promises. Start small, but be consistent. Now let's talk about posture. Stand up straight right now. Pull your shoulders back. Lift your chin slightly. Slow your breathing. Your body sends signals to your brain. Research shows posture affects hormone balance, stress response, and perceived authority. When you physically contract, you mentally contract. When you expand physically, your mind follows. Confidence is somatic. It lives in the body. Walk slower. Speak slightly slower. Pause before responding. People who rush appear uncertain. People who pause appear powerful. Silence is not weakness, it's control. Now let's address the biggest confidence killer in America today: comparison. Social media has turned comparison into a 24/7 habit. You're comparing careers, relationships, houses, vacations, physiques, follower counts. But you are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Dangerous confidence grows when you compete only with your past self. Are you stronger than last year? More disciplined than last month? More emotionally stable than last week? That's the only scoreboard that matters. The moment you detach your worth from external validation, you become free. Stop fishing for likes. Stop explaining your goals to people who don't understand your vision. Stop needing approval from people who are not living the life you want. Approval addiction is insecurity disguised as kindness. You don't need everyone to like you. You need to respect yourself. Now listen carefully. Rejection is not a verdict on your value. It's feedback on fit. If someone doesn't choose you, that doesn't mean you are unworthy. It means alignment was missing. Dangerously confident people understand this. Not everyone gets access to me. That's not ego. That's standards. Raise your standards in relationships, in friendships, in business, in how you speak to yourself. Your internal dialogue matters more than external opinions. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm awkward, I'm bad at this, I'm not good enough," your brain searches for proof. Instead, upgrade your language. Not delusional hype, strategic language. Replace "I'm nervous" with "I'm energized." Replace "I can't handle this" with "I'll figure this out." Replace "I always mess up" with "I'm learning." Words shape identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes destiny. You want dangerous confidence? Start with identity. Stop saying, "I'm trying to be confident." Say, "I am becoming someone who handles hard things." Identity-based change is permanent. Now let's go deeper. Confidence is built in private long before it shows in public. The workouts nobody sees. The reading nobody applauds. The budgeting nobody celebrates. The discipline nobody praises. When you know what you've done in private, you walk differently in public. That's why discipline and confidence are inseparable. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your subconscious updates your self-image. And your self-image is the thermostat of your life. You will never consistently outperform how you see yourself. If you see yourself as average, you'll sabotage excellence. If you see yourself as unlucky, you'll overlook opportunity. If you see yourself as capable, you'll attempt more. So ask yourself honestly, who have I decided I am? Because that decision is shaping everything. You are not your past mistakes. You are not your worst day. You are not the opinion of someone who misunderstood you. You are the person you choose to become next. Confidence also requires emotional regulation. In America's fast-paced culture, emotions swing wildly: stress, outrage, comparison, urgency. But dangerous confidence is calm under pressure. When something goes wrong, instead of reacting immediately, pause. Breathe in slowly. Exhale fully. Respond intentionally. Emotional control is power. Anyone can explode. Few can remain composed. Composure communicates authority. If you want to be respected in boardrooms, classrooms, households, communities, master your reactions. Now let's talk about fear. Fear never disappears. It evolves. The fear of starting becomes the fear of scaling. The fear of speaking becomes the fear of being misunderstood. The fear of trying becomes the fear of staying stuck. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's movement despite fear. Courage is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every day, ask yourself, what is one thing I'm avoiding that would move my life forward? Then do that. Not tomorrow. Today. Dangerous confidence is built through confrontation. Confrontation with procrastination, with excuses, with comfort. Comfort is seductive, but comfort kills growth. If your life feels stagnant, it's because you've been too comfortable. Growth requires friction. Go where you are slightly uncomfortable. Speak to the person you admire. Apply for the position you think is out of reach. Start the side project. Have the hard conversation. Your future self is begging you to be brave for 5 minutes. 5 seconds of courage can change 5 years of your life. Now here's something powerful. Your environment shapes your confidence. If you are surrounded by negativity, criticism, small thinking, it will shrink you. Upgrade your environment, physically and socially. Keep your space clean. Dress intentionally. Curate what you consume. Limit news that spikes anxiety. Follow people who inspire growth, not comparison. And most importantly, choose rooms where you are challenged, not just comfortable. If you're always the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Confidence grows when you stretch. Let's speak directly to the young generation in the United States. You don't need to have everything figured out at 22, or 25, or even 30. But you do need to develop resilience. Skills change, markets change, technology changes. But confidence anchored in self-discipline will carry you through any economy. To the parents listening, your children are watching how you handle stress. When you show courage, boundaries, and composure, you are modeling confidence more powerfully than any lecture. To the professionals feeling stuck, it's not too late to pivot. Reinvention is not failure. It's evolution. To the women who have been told to shrink, take up space, speak clearly, stop apologizing for having standards. To the men who feel pressure to always be strong, real strength is vulnerability with control, not suppression. Confidence has no gender, no age limit, no expiration date. Now let's build the core formula. Clarity, competence, consistency. Clarity, know what you want. Vague goals create vague confidence. Be specific. Competence, get better at something valuable. Skill builds belief. Consistency, show up repeatedly. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be consistent. Every week, improve something by 1%. Tiny improvements compound. 1 year from now, you could be unrecognizable, but only if you start. And here's the final truth. Confidence is earned, not through talk, not through motivational quotes, but through action repeated long enough that doubt has no evidence left to stand on. So from this moment forward, stop shrinking. Walk taller, speak slower, decide faster, commit deeper, apologize less for existing. Protect your energy, keep promises to yourself, do hard things daily, and when fear shows up, smile at it, because that's your signal you're growing. If this message shifted something inside you, if you felt even a small spark of power reignite, then you're already stepping into a new identity. This is your moment to choose, not to be loud, not to be arrogant, but to be unshakable. You are capable of more than you've been demonstrating. And the world responds differently when you respond differently to yourself. Keep training your mind, keep strengthening your discipline, keep upgrading your standards, and if you want more deep, powerful, identity-shifting audiobooks that build real confidence, mental toughness, and unstoppable self-belief, make sure you stay connected with the Motivational Audiobook Spot. This is your life. Step into it boldly, because now we go deeper. Most people try to build confidence on the outside first. Better clothes, better car, better job title, better social media presence, but dangerously confident people build it from the inside out. They master their mind. Let's talk about mental dominance. Your thoughts are not facts. Read that again. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. I'm not good enough. They're judging me. I always mess this up. It's too late for me. These are mental habits, not realities. Dangerously confident people interrogate their thoughts. When a negative thought appears, they don't accept it automatically. They question it. Is this 100% true? What evidence supports this? What evidence contradicts it? What would I tell a friend in this situation? Most insecurity survives because it goes unchallenged. Your brain is like a courtroom. If you don't cross-examine the lies, they win the case. Now let's talk about visibility. A lot of people in the US are not lacking skill. They're lacking visibility. They don't raise their hand. They don't share their ideas. They don't post their work. They don't apply for the opportunity. They wait to be discovered. Confidence requires exposure. If you want to become dangerously confident, you must deliberately place yourself in situations where you can be seen. Volunteer to present, speak up in meetings, start the YouTube channel, launch the podcast, send the pitch. You cannot build confidence hiding in the shadows. Exposure therapy builds power. At first, your heart will race, your palms may sweat, your voice might shake. That's not weakness, that's growth. Stay in the moment long enough, and your nervous system recalibrates. What once felt terrifying becomes normal. What once felt impossible becomes routine. Now let's talk about failure. In American culture, failure is often viewed as a stain, but dangerously confident people reframe failure as data. If a business idea fails, you gained experience. If a relationship ends, you gained clarity. If you get rejected, you gained redirection. Failure is tuition. You either pay in discomfort now or regret later, and regret is far heavier. The fear of embarrassment keeps millions of people average. But here's a powerful truth. People are too busy thinking about themselves to obsess over you. That mistake you made, that awkward thing you said, that presentation that didn't go perfectly, most people forgot about it within hours. But you keep replaying it for years. Let it go. Confidence requires memory control. Stop reliving old failures like they're happening today. Your past is information, not identity. Now let's address physical confidence. Your body influences your mind more than you realize. Lift weights, move your body, increase your strength. When you physically feel stronger, your mental resilience increases. It's not about aesthetics, it's about capability. There is something transformational about knowing you can carry heavy things. It rewires your internal narrative. You stop seeing yourself as fragile. You start seeing yourself as powerful. If you're over 50 listening to this, strength training is not just for the young. It builds bone density, stability, independence, and confidence at every age. If you're in your 20s, build the body now that will support your ambition for decades. Physical discipline spills into mental discipline. Now let's move into social confidence. Stop trying to impress. Start trying to connect. People with low confidence perform. People with high confidence engage. Ask better questions. Listen deeply. Maintain eye contact. Don't rush to fill silence. You don't need the perfect line. You need presence. Presence is power. When you are fully present, you stop overthinking how you're being perceived, and that alone raises your confidence. Here's another shift. Detach from outcome. Go into conversations not needing approval. Go into dates not needing validation. Go into negotiations not desperate for acceptance. Desperation lowers leverage. Calm detachment raises it. When you know you'll be okay no matter what the outcome is, you become magnetic. Now let's talk about money and confidence. Financial chaos creates psychological insecurity. You don't need to be rich to be confident, but you do need control. Budget, save, invest wisely, eliminate unnecessary debt. Financial discipline builds self-respect, and self-respect fuels confidence. If you're stressed about money, start small. Track your spending for 30 days. Cut one unnecessary expense. Build an emergency fund slowly. Every dollar managed intentionally increases stability, and stability increases confidence. Now here's a truth many avoid. You cannot become dangerously confident while constantly betraying yourself. If you say you'll wake up early but hit snooze, you weaken self-trust. If you say you'll eat clean but constantly justify junk, you weaken discipline. If you say you won't text them again but do, you weaken boundaries. Each small betrayal chips away at confidence. So tighten your standards, not in a rigid perfectionist way, but in a respectful way. Respect yourself enough to follow through. And when you mess up, because you will, don't spiral. Reset immediately. Confidence is not perfection. It's rapid recovery. The speed at which you recover from setbacks determines your long-term success. Now, let's talk about criticism. If you are visible, you will be criticized. That's the price of growth. But there are two types of criticism: constructive feedback from people who want you to improve, and projection from people who are uncomfortable with your growth. Learn to distinguish the two. Take feedback seriously. Ignore projection completely. You don't need validation from someone who hasn't built what you're building. Remember this: the people who mock ambition are usually the ones who abandon their own. Now imagine yourself 1 year from today. You walk differently. You speak clearly. Your boundaries are firm. Your habits are solid. Your body is stronger. Your finances are stable. Your circle is upgraded. That version of you exists, but only if you commit now. Confidence compounds, just like money, just like muscle, just like skill. Daily deposits create massive returns. And here's something powerful for every generation listening. Confidence is contagious. When you show up boldly, you give others permission to do the same. Your confidence can inspire your coworkers, your children, your spouse, your friends. You become a lighthouse, steady, calm, unapologetic. Dangerously confident people don't dominate rooms. They anchor them, and anchoring starts within. So today, decide. Decide that fear will no longer dictate your actions. Decide that discipline will replace excuses. Decide that your standards will rise. Decide that your future matters more than temporary comfort. And when doubt whispers, "Who do you think you are?" answer calmly, "I am becoming someone who handles hard things." Keep going. Keep building. Keep stretching your limits. And if this message is fueling your growth, stay locked in with the Motivational Audiobook spot, where we don't just talk about success, we train you to become it. This is your transformation season. Step into it, unshaken, because this is where most people stop. They build a little confidence, feel a little progress, and then comfort sneaks back in. Dangerous confidence is not a one-time breakthrough. It's a lifestyle of expansion, and expansion requires identity upgrades. Right now, whether you realize it or not, you are living inside a mental identity container, an invisible ceiling that defines what you believe is possible for you. Income ceiling, fitness ceiling, relationship ceiling, confidence ceiling. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most limits in your life are not external. They're self-negotiated. You didn't hit your true limit. You hit the edge of your comfort and called it reality. Dangerously confident people refuse to accept their first limit. They test it. They lean into the discomfort instead of retreating. When your brain says, "This is too much. I can't handle this. I'm not ready." That is not a command. That is a checkpoint. And checkpoints are meant to be crossed. This is where identity expansion begins. Instead of asking, "Can I do this?" ask, "What version of me can do this?" That question changes everything, because now you're not debating capability. You're designing identity. The confident version of you wakes up when they say they will. The confident version trains even when tired. The confident version speaks even when nervous. The confident version walks into rooms expecting belonging. So your job isn't to magically feel confident. Your job is to rehearse being that person daily. Confidence is identity rehearsal repeated until natural. Now let's talk about discomfort tolerance. Modern life has engineered comfort everywhere. Food in seconds, entertainment endlessly, temperature-controlled environments, Instant gratification on demand. Comfort is convenient, but too much comfort weakens your resilience. And resilience is the backbone of confidence. If everything in your life is easy, the smallest challenge feels overwhelming. Dangerously confident people deliberately train discomfort tolerance. They do things that stretch them physically. Cold showers, hard workouts, long walks without distraction, mentally, deep work sessions without checking the phone, learning new skills, reading material that challenges beliefs, socially, initiating conversations, asking questions, setting boundaries. Every voluntary discomfort strengthens your stress response, and a trained stress response creates calm confidence. Now, here's a shift most people never hear. Confidence is built faster when you stop chasing motivation. Motivation is emotional. Confidence is behavioral. Motivation comes and goes. Behavior compounds. If you rely on motivation, you will always feel inconsistent. Dangerously confident people operate on standards, not moods. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it?" They ask, "Is this aligned with who I'm becoming?" And then they act. This creates identity integrity. When your behavior aligns with your future self repeatedly, your self-image upgrades automatically. And upgraded self-image radiates confidence. Let's talk about social pressure. Many people suppress their growth because they fear judgment from friends, coworkers, or family. They don't want to seem different. But growth requires separation, not abandonment, not arrogance, expansion. Some people will misunderstand your discipline, some will mock your ambition, some will project their fears onto your goals. That's normal. Your responsibility is not to shrink so others feel comfortable. Your responsibility is to grow honestly. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop chasing approval, respect increases. Because self-approval is magnetic. Now let's address overthinking, the silent confidence killer. Overthinking is fear disguised as preparation. You replay conversations, predict negative outcomes, analyze every decision. And in doing so, you delay action. Confidence grows in motion, not in mental loops. When you catch yourself overthinking, use the 5-second rule. Count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move. Speak. Send the message. Start the task. Interrupt hesitation with action. Momentum dissolves doubt. Now let's go deeper into emotional confidence. Your emotions are signals, not commands. Feeling anxious does not mean stop. Feeling uncertain does not mean quit. Feeling fear does not mean danger. Dangerously confident people feel everything, but obey selectively. They experience fear and act anyway. They experience doubt and move forward anyway. They experience discomfort and stay present. Emotional courage builds psychological armor. And armor is not numbness, it's stability. Stability allows you to make decisions from intention, not impulse. And intentional living is confidence in motion. Here's another layer. Your standards determine your confidence ceiling. If you tolerate disrespect, chaos, inconsistency, and excuses, your confidence erodes. Raise standards in who gets your time, how you speak to yourself, what habits you accept, how you treat your body, how you manage your energy. High standards create internal order. Internal order creates mental clarity. Mental clarity fuels confidence. Now imagine this. You enter a room knowing. You keep promises to yourself. You face discomfort daily. You regulate emotions. You maintain discipline. You raise standards. That knowledge becomes silent authority. You don't need to announce confidence. It's visible. It's felt. It's grounded. And grounded confidence is what people describe as presence. Presence is not loud. It's steady. And steadiness makes others feel safe. That's real power. Let's talk about time perspective. Most insecurity comes from short-term thinking. You want instant mastery, instant results, instant validation. But confidence is a long game. Think in seasons. Today's awkward attempt becomes tomorrow's skill. Today's discomfort becomes tomorrow's strength. Today's discipline becomes next year's identity. Stop judging yourself mid-process. Growth looks messy before it looks impressive. And finally, understand this. Confidence is not a destination. It's a practice. There will be days you feel unstoppable, days you feel uncertain, days you question everything. Dangerously confident people don't panic when confidence dips. They return to fundamentals: action, discipline, standards, self-trust, again and again. And that repetition builds something unbreakable. So from this moment forward, lean into discomfort. Act before doubt settles. Raise your standards. Train your resilience. Upgrade your identity daily. Detach from approval. Move with intention. And when fear shows up, treat it as confirmation that you're expanding. You are not here to live small. You are here to evolve. If this message is strengthening your mindset and pushing your limits, stay connected with the Motivational Audiobook Spot, where transformation isn't entertainment, it's training. Keep going. Now we enter the level most people never reach, because surface confidence is easy. You can fake posture, you can memorize lines, you can rehearse charisma. But dangerous confidence is internal sovereignty. It means you are no longer controlled by external chaos. And in America today, chaos is constant. Breaking news, economic shifts, political noise, social media outrage, endless comparison. If you don't discipline your focus, your mind becomes rented property, and rented minds cannot produce strong confidence. So the next evolution is this. Take back control of your attention. Attention is your most valuable asset. Where your attention goes, your identity grows. If you constantly consume negativity, your confidence shrinks. If you constantly consume distraction, your discipline weakens. If you constantly consume validation, your independence disappears. Dangerously confident people guard their focus like currency. They choose what they consume. They choose what they engage with. They choose what deserves emotional energy. Ask yourself honestly, how many hours per week are you giving to things that don't build you? Scrolling, arguing online, watching others succeed instead of working. Now imagine redirecting even half of that time into skill development, physical training, business growth, relationship depth, or spiritual grounding. Your life would shift dramatically in 6 months. Confidence accelerates when distractions decrease. Now let's talk about discipline at a deeper level. Discipline is not punishment. It's self-respect in action. When you set boundaries around your sleep, your food, your schedule, your commitments, you are communicating to yourself, I matter. That internal message builds quiet power. You don't need to dominate anyone when you dominate your habits, and domination of habits leads to freedom. Freedom from chaos, freedom from impulsive decisions, freedom from regret. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want. Real freedom is doing what aligns with your highest self, even when you don't feel like it. That's dangerous confidence. Now let's address relationships. You cannot become dangerously confident while staying in environments that constantly shrink you. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. Energized, inspired, supported, or drained, doubtful, smaller. Confidence requires courageous pruning. Sometimes growth means reducing access. Not with anger, not with drama, with clarity. You don't have to announce your evolution, just live it. And the right people will align. Now let's move into purpose. Confidence deepens when your life has direction. Without direction, you drift, and drifting creates insecurity. Because you feel out of control, you don't need your entire life mapped out. But you need a direction. Ask yourself, what kind of person am I building? What kind of impact do I want to have? What skills will make me valuable in the next decade? In a rapidly changing American economy, adaptability is confidence. Learn continuously. Upgrade consistently. Stay curious. The moment you believe you've arrived, you start declining. Dangerous confidence stays humble enough to keep learning. Now here's a critical layer. Stop outsourcing your self-worth to performance alone. Yes, skill builds confidence. Yes, results matter. But if your entire identity is tied to achievement, setbacks will destroy you. You must separate who you are from what you do. You are worthy before the promotion. You are worthy before the success. You are worthy before the applause. Results enhance confidence. They should not create it. Because when confidence is internally anchored, it survives external storms. And storms will come. Economic downturns, personal losses, health challenges, unexpected changes. Dangerously confident people bend, but don't break. Why? Because they built themselves in layers. Physical strength, mental resilience, emotional control, financial discipline, spiritual grounding, layer by layer. That creates stability, and stability radiates power. Let's talk about decision-making. Indecision destroys confidence. When you constantly hesitate, second-guess, or delay choices, your brain learns that you don't trust yourself. Start making decisions faster, not reckless decisions. Informed decisions. But once you've gathered enough information, choose, then commit. Even if it turns out imperfect, you'll gain experience. Experience builds certainty. Certainty builds confidence. Now imagine living like this. You wake up and move with intention. You handle stress calmly. You speak clearly. You train your body. You protect your time. You raise your standards. You accept feedback. You reject negativity. You learn constantly. You act despite fear. That version of you is not unrealistic. It's trained. And training requires repetition. There will be days you slip, days you procrastinate, days you doubt, days you feel off. That's human. Dangerous confidence is not the absence of bad days. It's the refusal to stay down. You reset faster. You forgive yourself quicker. You return to discipline immediately. Speed of recovery is everything. Now let's speak directly to the listener who feels behind. Behind financially, behind physically, behind socially, behind professionally. You are not behind. You are early in your transformation. Comparison distorts perception. Focus on daily deposits, one workout, one skill session, one courageous action, one disciplined choice. Small actions, repeated daily, create unstoppable momentum. And momentum creates belief. Belief creates identity. Identity creates destiny. You are not waiting for confidence. You are building it, brick by brick. And as you build, something shifts. Your posture changes, your voice steadies, your eyes focus, your energy stabilizes, people notice, opportunities increase, not because the world suddenly favors you, but because your behavior changed, and behavior shifts outcomes. So here is your challenge. For the next 30 days, commit to this code. Do one uncomfortable thing daily. Keep every small promise to yourself. Move your body consistently. Guard your attention. Raise one standard in your life. Speak with intention. Act before doubt settles. 30 days. That's it. You will not recognize yourself. And once you feel that shift, you will never want to go back. Because small living becomes unbearable once you've tasted expansion. You were not designed to shrink. You were designed to evolve. And dangerous confidence is simply alignment with your highest self. If this training is fueling your evolution, stay locked in with the Motivational Audiobook spot, where we build minds that don't fold under pressure. This is where confidence becomes identity discipline. Most people think confidence is something you feel. Dangerously confident people understand it's something you practice under pressure. Anyone can feel confident when life is smooth, when the paycheck hits, when the compliments come, when things go according to plan. But real confidence is revealed when friction shows up, deadlines stack up, plans fail, energy drops, unexpected problems hit. This is the testing ground, and the goal is not to eliminate pressure. The goal is to become someone who performs inside pressure. Pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is a mirror. It shows you your preparation, your discipline, your emotional control. When pressure rises, most people panic because they rely on mood. Dangerously confident people rely on systems. They don't ask, "How do I feel?" They ask, "What is the next correct action?" That question stabilizes chaos. It narrows overwhelming situations into manageable steps. And when you repeatedly execute the next correct action, confidence compounds. Now let's talk about emotional endurance. Confidence is not loud excitement. It's sustained stability. The ability to remain steady when others spiral. When someone criticizes you, you evaluate, not explode. When a plan fails, you adjust, not collapse. When tension rises, you breathe, not panic. This is emotional conditioning. And like any conditioning, it's built through repetition. Each time you stay calm when your instinct is to react. Each time you respond intentionally instead of impulsively. You are training emotional authority. And emotional authority is magnetic. People trust those who remain steady under stress. Now let's address the discipline of finishing. Many people start strong, new goals, new routines, new ambitions. But when novelty fades, so does effort. Dangerously confident people finish what they start, because finishing builds identity integrity. When you complete projects, habits, commitments, your brain updates your self-image. I am someone who follows through. That belief is powerful. It affects how you show up everywhere, in work, in relationships, in personal growth. So start small, but finish relentlessly. Complete the workout. Finish the book. Deliver the task. Keep the promise. Completion builds trust with yourself, and self-trust is the core of confidence. Now let's talk about energy management. Confidence is not just mental, it's physiological. Low sleep, poor nutrition, constant overstimulation. These drain your baseline state, and drained people struggle to access confidence. Protect your energy like an asset. Sleep consistently, hydrate, move daily, limit mental clutter. When your physiology is regulated, your mind becomes sharper, calmer, more decisive. Confidence flows easier from a stable nervous system. Next, adaptability. Rigid people break under pressure. Adaptive people bend and grow. Dangerous confidence is not stubborn ego, it's flexible strength. When circumstances change, you adjust strategy, not identity. You remain grounded while evolving. That balance creates long-term resilience. Now imagine this scenario. Something goes wrong, unexpectedly. Old version of you. Panic, self-doubt, hesitation. New version. Breathe, assess, act. That pause, that intentional space, is where confidence lives. And the more you practice it, the wider that space becomes. Eventually, reaction turns into response, and response is power. Let's talk about long-term self-respect. Confidence spikes come from wins. Confidence foundations come from habits. If your daily actions align with your values, you wake up with quiet pride, not loud ego, quiet certainty. You know you're doing the work, and that knowledge stabilizes your identity. Now here's a truth many avoid. Confidence requires honest self-confrontation. You must be willing to say, "This habit is holding me back. This environment is shrinking me. This excuse is limiting me." Without shame, without self-attack, just clarity. Because clarity leads to change, and change leads to growth. And growth builds confidence. Every time you confront reality instead of avoiding it, you strengthen courage. Now let's zoom out. Picture your life 5 years from now if you commit to this path. You handle stress with composure. You trust your decisions. You maintain discipline. You recover quickly from setbacks. You act despite fear. You follow through consistently. That version of you isn't hypothetical, it's constructed through daily behavior. Confidence is not destiny. It's architecture. You build it brick by brick, action by action, decision by decision. And every day you delay, is a day your future waits, but every day you act is a vote for your next identity. So here's your next commitment. When pressure appears, breathe and execute. When doubt appears, act anyway. When discomfort appears, lean in. When you start something, finish it. When energy dips, restore intentionally. When mistakes happen, reset immediately. Repeat, daily. That repetition builds something unshakable. And when confidence becomes your baseline, life stops feeling like something happening to you and starts feeling like something you are actively shaping. That is dangerous confidence. If this training is sharpening your mindset and strengthening your identity, stay connected with the Motivational Audiobook Spot, where we don't chase motivation.